One, two, one, two, one, two.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. So our discussion this morning is going to be about hip-hop and entrepreneurial culture, and this is obviously something that has been intertwined in hip-hop since day dot, really. You've had the likes of Jay-Z become a legitimate businessman after a kind of criminal entrepreneurialism earlier in his career and using rap as a way to go straight, as it were. You've got people like P. Diddy, who has created $140 million revenue just in the last year, making him the highest earning person as rated by Forbes through various drinks brands and so on. And now you've got a kind of new breed of networked entrepreneurial kind of hip-hop artists like DJ Khaled using social media in a really interesting way. And I think what's most exciting is a kind of new breed of rapper like Chance the Rapper in the US or maybe Bugsy Malone in the UK, who are sort of resisting the traditional label structure and really going it alone and doing all their own marketing and distribution and kind of freeing up their artistry and making, hopefully, more money in the process. And with me is Ryan Leslie, who's actually pioneered, I think, some of those very ideas about going it alone. He is a producer and has made some incredible productions in the past. I rate Me and You by Cassie as the pinnacle of R&B production.
Thank you.
And as well as being a singer and rapper and creating some excellent solo albums. But he's also an entrepreneur. He has his business Superphone, which uses smartphone technology to more immediately reach his fans. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a while. But Ryan, why do you think, first of all, that there is such a strong thread of entrepreneurial spirit in hip-hop?
Yeah. First of all, how you doing, Web Summit? Okay.
Woo!
That's all we got early in the morning. How we doing, Web Summit? Okay. All right, that's a little better. Okay, good. So the entrepreneurial spirit, I think, in hip-hop just comes from the idea that even for me, being a son of missionaries, you come from humble beginnings and you see what the world has to offer and you want to go get everything that the world has to offer. And not only for yourself. And I worked with Puff. Puff was my manager for the first 2 years when I moved to New York City. It's not just for you, it's also to be an example, to show everyone else that comes from the same circumstances and surroundings from which you came, that it's possible, right? And so just being humans, we see someone doing something. We see someone achieving. We see someone succeeding. And we feel like it's possible because someone with the same flesh, the same blood, the same 24 hours in a day is able to get there. And so I think that's really where it stems from. At least for me personally, that's where it stems from.
I mean, is it, as well as being that you say the same flesh and the same blood, is it also the same race? And is it a case of it being difficult or harder for black Americans, black musicians to come up through those channels in a traditionally white-dominated music industry?
Listen, man, I think we can talk about it being across race lines, but I think honestly, it's about wealth. And when I talk about wealth, I'm talking about how many people here that are at the Music Note stage feel like they have a wealth of connections that can get them to where they want to get, right? How many people here at the Music Note stage feel like they have a wealth of money that can help them to bring their vision to execution, right? I don't see any hands going up, right? So I think it's beyond just race lines. It comes down to how many people do you know that can help you get to where you want to get? And then also, how many people are you actually talking to that can help you to get where you want to get, right? I believe, honestly, that success happens at the speed of communication. So it always comes down to how many people do you know and how many people are you actively talking to? Let's put it in context. If you have a mixtape, you have an album, you have a CD, how many people do you know that might even like that music, right? Which is why we put music up on social sharing sites to hopefully attract some people that know about us. And then the next part is how many of those people are you actually talking to, which is why we post all the time. And that, I think, segues into this concept of superphone. And that applies for any kind of success that you want to achieve. If you're locked out of your house, how many locksmiths do you know, and how many locksmiths are you actually talking to? Because that equation always gets you to success faster. How many people do you know, and how many people are you actually talking to?
And is it, was it hard for you initially in a kind of pre-social media era to create those connections? And how have you kind of taken what you learned then and applied it to when we are all much more networked?
Yeah. I mean, we got super limited time. We got 12 minutes, and we could talk about the past of like the age of Michael Jackson, right? So when we all think, if I say the word Michael Jackson, we're all connected because there's an image that pops up of the glitter jacket, the high water pants, the white socks, the penny loafers, the spins, the incredible performer that he was. And the reason why we all know about Michael Jackson is that was happening pre-social.
Yeah.
So we only saw what was given to us. We didn't have the ability to just go on Spotify and play whatever we wanted. We didn't have the ability to go on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, and just watch whatever we wanted. We didn't have the ability for someone on Facebook to post a meme of someone that we didn't know and have a tag to that person, have a viral discovery. And so I want to talk about now. I want to talk about all the things, all of the platforms, all of the ways that we can actually take advantage of to get to success now.
I mean, are the current tools that are available to us, the kinds of social networks we have, not doing their job for an aspiring musician?
Well, listen, it's about discovery. We could all start an Instagram profile right now and call it the Web Summit Band. How many people would actually, there's 60,000 people at Web Summit. How many people would follow that profile? We all know very few, right? And so I believe that, honestly, the most powerful social handle that you have is a social handle that allows you to have a direct line of communication with whoever wants to support you. And so for me, that's the cell phone number or the Facebook Messenger ID.
And so how are you using that cell phone to better reach people and reach them in a more meaningful way where they might actually properly engage, maybe, buy one of your records, maybe buy a concert ticket?
Yeah. So I'll give you a case in point. It took me about 8 to 10 years to build a following of 1 million plus across all my social channels. So that's 500,000 people on Twitter, 400,000 people on Facebook, 300,000 people on Instagram, 150,000 on YouTube. Took me 8 to 10 years of consistent content, generating content, putting it out, making sure I was posting natively in the communicative format of every single channel. And then in 2013, I said, you know what? I'm not getting the engagement that I want. I'm putting a post up on Instagram. I got 300,000 followers, and I'm getting 4,000 likes. What happened to the other 296,000 people that are following me, right? And so I started giving my phone number out. And this is what happened. 35,000 people texted me, and I built a very simple automation. And that automation was when someone texted me, I said, well, I don't recognize this number. Do you mind giving me your information so we could stay in touch? Of the 35,000 people who texted me, 33,000 people gave me their information because they didn't want to seem like stalkers. And then, because of the magic, and really not magic, but the science, the beauty, the power of technology, I could check every single phone number that came in across my Shopify store, and if they hadn't bought my album, it would gently recommend it.
And did people feel a bit harassed by that, or were they?
Well, I mean, they
quite
texted me.
appreciative?
So they're who's getting harassed? Me or them, right? So they texted me. So a very, very beautiful circle was made. 35,000 people texted. The people that wanted to be in touch added their information. The way that we could be connected and the way that I could differentiate between the passive and the active was to ask them for some support. and 1 out of every 2, 17,000 people bought my album. That's no label, no manager, no music videos, no PR, just the beauty of an active conversation. Because when it's one-to-one, I could ask you right now, let me hold $10.
Right.
And when it's one-to-one, somebody's going to get sold. Either I'm going to sell you a reason to give me $10, and you're going to sell me a reason why you won't. And the beauty is that even the reason why he won't give me the $10 is valuable because it allows me to understand what's actually valuable to you.
Right.
So if an MP3 isn't valuable to you, but you say, look, I'm not going to give you $10 for an album because I can go stream as many albums as I want for $10 a month on Spotify, but I would give you $45 if you gave me a concert.
Right.
And if you gave me an experience that I can enjoy with my friends that was priceless.
Do you find that you've now created this very meaningful relationship with the group of people that you have a relationship on Superphone? Is it hard? Is there only so far you can go with that? How do you continue to break out to new audiences with that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen. As a creator, we would be crazy if we didn't take advantage of the distribution platforms that we have and discovery platforms that we have. And of course, when we're creating, we want as many people to be able to consume that for free. The active conversation, though, is really a way to make sure that if that equation that we mentioned at the beginning, how many people do you know and how many people are you talking to, that decreases the dependency on luck for you to be successful.
Right.
The number of people that you're talking to decreases the dependency on luck for the success that you're trying to achieve. So what Superphone does, and if you want to, if you go to my Instagram, you see my phone number is right there. And you're going to get a text back that says, hey, who is this? I don't know who it is, right? But what's so interesting is the number of people that text me, it's like a novelty to text me, oh, Ryan, does this really work? It's really my cell phone. The conversation just drops off. I want to help people, right? I got into technology because I want to win. I love winning, right? I got into music because I want to win.
What do you want to win?
And winning for me is empowering everyone in the world to have a tool, to have an inbox that allows them to differentiate between the people that really matter and the people that are just passive. Because all of our connections on social are just passive. If you follow me on Instagram, how much do you really expect for me to respond if you leave me a comment? But if you get me on the phone, if you get me on the phone and I don't respond for 2 minutes and you ask me a question, you're going to hang up because you feel like something's wrong, right? So I believe that the expected response time of a medium tells you how powerful that medium will be when it's time to communicate. And with text, the expected response time is pretty high. And the science says 98% of texts are read in the first 3 minutes.
Right.
It takes about 90 minutes on average to respond to an email and 99 or 90 seconds or something along those lines to respond to a text.
But you're getting bombarded perhaps at certain times with messages.
Right.
As an artist, is that exhausting? Does that sap your time to create?
Right. So the beauty of technology is that AI and machine learning are right around the corner. But you don't even really need AI or machine learning to answer very, very frequently asked questions like, where can I get your new single? Or when's your next show? Or when are you coming to LA again? If you find that people are asking this over and over again, you can actually program your telephone to respond at scale to frequently asked questions. And that's what all of us really want to do.
So you're sort of effectively outsourcing your PR to a kind of rudimentary AI, and that will continue to sort of develop, and you'll almost have ever more sophistication in your interactions with your fans.
Yeah.
But it won't. Do you think that people would something would be lost if they don't feel like it's really you talking?
Listen, I think people are smart. So if someone knows that I have a public telephone number and I don't get back to them right away because I'm also busy, I might be on stage at Web Summit, right? They understand. They understand.
Yeah.
And I really believe that it's about being transparent and honest with your audience and saying, look, this is my cell phone. It's available. I can look into it right now, see if anybody's texting me while I'm here on stage. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. I got some folks that are texting me. I have a text thread. But in reality, even your best friend, might only text you 5 times a day. And even if they text you 5 times a day, you might tell them, like, look, I'm working, man. Like, relax, right? So unless you have an unmanageable scale of fans, I'm currently on text directly with 73,697 people.
That fills me with great stress, but that's awesome that you can handle it.
Listen, it may seem stressful, but if 7,000 people a day all texted you asking to give you $5, would you be stressed out?
I think it would ebb away a little. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It would, right? It would. And so that's really what Superphone does. It helps to differentiate between the conversations with people that say, oh, man, I just love your music, and people that say, look, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. How can I support you? And you have the ability to get back with them and tell them exactly how to support. And the beauty of a cycle of support is that both people derive value. The reason why you don't get responses sometimes when you text someone or email them is because they don't have a way to easily wrap their mind around how you're going to give them value. But when you can give someone value beyond the price of what you're asking from them, they'll respond every time.
I mean, you're an incredibly energized and charismatic person, clearly, and I think those are qualities that are shared with some of the most successful entrepreneurs. I mean, if you're looking at the sort of original topic of the debate and looking at hip-hop and entrepreneurialism and how they work, I mean, can you be successful in this new networked environment if you don't have that kind of front foot entrepreneurial spirit?
Of course, because we're in a network time. So if it's not you, that's the ultra-charismatic, gregarious, outgoing, lightning bolt personality, that's the reason why you put that kind of person on your team. And so think of the 5 people you talk to the most. One of those people needs to have that quality that attracts and draws people together to you. I think I'll leave you with this. Knowledge is powerful. Money is precious, but time is priceless. If you want to reduce the time between what you have in your mind, the things that you want to do, and the execution and the success and the embodiment of that vision, it's about who you know, who can get you there, and of the people you know, which ones you're really talking to. My name is Ryan Leslie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Send me a text.
Yeah,
I love
text
you, Web
him.
Summit.